Kazuo Ishiguro is a Nobel Prize winning English writer. He was born in 1954, almost a decade after the Second World War, in Nagasaki, Japan. Ishiguro moved to England with his family at 5 because of his father's work. His parents kept telling him that they'll go back to Japan, but after a decade, they realized they will be stuck in England for the rest of their lives. Ishiguro has always been fascinated by music and even dreamt of becoming a rock star at one point. However, he started focusing more on his writing when he got into a creative writing program in Norfolk, a small town in England. There, he spent his days writing in a dingy room while attending university twice a week, and his then girlfriend visiting him twice a month. They have been married for over 30 years now. Ishiguro was profoundly moved by the question of identity and space because he was Japanese at home and English outside. In his mid-20s, he realized that the image of Japan he had was inaccurate and shaped by the distorted memories from his childhood. His first 2 novels stemmed out of his desire to preserve his Japan. This theme of preserving the image of one's past is mirrored by the narrator in his novel Never Let Me Go. In many ways, the novel is about the act of remembering and holding on to memories. Ishiguro believes that everyone should have pockets of contentment in a world that is filled with sadness. He thinks that it's easiest to create these pockets during childhood. Perhaps he believes this because he was a very protected child himself, and this allowed him to have memories of a content world despite being born shortly after the war. His parents made the war seem very distant in order to keep him in a bubble. He plays with this idea in Never Let Me Go as well. The first part of the novel is set in a boarding school called Hailsham, whose founders also decided to relay selective information to their students in an effort to let them have a decent childhood. Considering the hopelessness of their true situation, this alternative narrative was required for them to live a hopeful and content life. Never Let Me Go is the novel Ishiguro wrote after being struck by the importance of relationships that people have with each other. He realized that all good stories have powerful relationships which evoke strong emotions in the audience. He thought that he was missing this in his stories and felt that perhaps if he paid close attention to his own relationships, the relationships of his characters would also fall in step. For this reason, he places relationships at the heart of his novel, specifically the relationships among the 3 main characters. He delves into the intricacies of these relationships, which are founded in murky realms of childhood and span decades. We are privy to the smallest movements of these characters, from the way one character attempts to fit in a group with choreographed gestures, to the way another feels about a song lyric. Perhaps these movements aren't small after all. So much of us is contained in the smallest things we do and feel. Ishiguro shows us that.